My friend, hand me your wallet. Yes, right now. I am looking at this heavy piece of platinum metal in your hand. Yesterday, you told me with a big smile that you just booked a free flight to Europe using points. You felt like a genius. You felt like you beat the bank. But I am your mind surgeon, and when I look at the MRI of your finances, I don't see a genius. I see a patient infected by a parasite. To earn those free miles, you had to cycle $40,000 through this card. You didn't hack the system. You fell for the most expensive trap in modern finance. You are spending $100 just to earn $1 back. The banks didn't give you this card to reward you. They gave it to you to sever the pain of payment in your brain. They gamified your spending so that you would buy things you don't need to earn points that are worth pennies. You think you are winning a game? No, you are the game piece. My name is Philly, and today we are going to perform surgery on the points guy persona. I am going to show you how the gamified spending virus forces you to overspend by 30%, and how we are going to reverse engineer the brainwashing before you earn your way into bankruptcy. If you are ready to stop chasing crumbs and start building wealth, smash that like button. The operation starts now. Let's put the patient on the table and look at the vital signs. The infection starts with a concept I call the optimization placebo. You feel smart when you use the right card for the right category. I use the gold for groceries, the platinum for travel, and the blue for gas. You feel like a hedge fund manager optimizing a portfolio. But look at the blood work. Look at your bank statement. The bank is not stupid, my friend. They hire PhD psychologists and data scientists to design these programs. Do you really think they are giving you a free vacation out of the kindness of their hearts? No. They are arbitrageurs of human behavior. They know that the moment you chase a sign-up bonus, your behavior changes. You need to spend $4,000 in 3 months to get the bonus. Suddenly, you become generous. You pick up the tab at dinner. Venmo me later, you say. You buy the new laptop a few months early. You justify the upgrade because I need to hit the minimum spend. This is mental accounting at its most dangerous. You have separated your money into 2 buckets, real money and point strategy. You treat the point strategy money recklessly because you view it as an investment in future travel. But here is the math of the parasite. If you overspend by just $50 a month because of the frictionless nature of the card, that extra appetizer, that subscription you forgot, that upgrade you didn't need, that is $600 a year, plus the annual fee. Let's talk about that vampire. You are paying $695 a year for the privilege of holding the card. So you're down $1,295 before you even board the plane. And what did you get? A flight worth $800? The bank mathematically harvested $500 from your net worth, and you thank them for it because they gave you a shiny metal card and access to a crowded airport lounge where the cheese cubes are stale. You are suffering from status anxiety infection. You aren't playing a game against the bank. You are the game piece. The bank is playing you. And the worst part? The infection is spreading. It's not just about the travel. It's about the gamification of debt. They have trained you to view a high credit limit not as a liability, but as a high score. They have trained you to view utilization as a stat to be managed rather than a warning sign of poverty. We need to cut this tumor out. We need to stop pretending that spending money is a job that pays you a salary. Spending is the destruction of capital. Points are just the anesthesia they use, so you don't scream while they harvest your organs. Buddy, look at this. This is your brain on cash, and this is your brain on points. We need to discuss the mechanism of how this parasite feeds. It relies on a biological glitch called the decoupling effect. In a standard transaction, like when you buy a coffee with a $20 bill, your brain registers a phenomenon called the pain of payment. It is a literal neural pinch. Your brain treats the loss of cash similarly to physical pain. This pain is good. It is a survival mechanism. It tells you, stop. Resources are leaving the tribe. The points industry invented the credit card to act as financial anesthesia. When you swipe that metal card or tap your phone, you feel zero pain. The transaction is frictionless. The pain is decoupled from the consumption. But here is where the virus mutates. Not only did they remove the pain, but they replaced it with a dopamine hit. When you swipe for that $200 dinner you shouldn't be buying, your brain doesn't say, ouch. It says, "Congratulations, you just earned 300 points. You are winning." This is how they hacked your operating system. Studies show that people using credit cards spend anywhere from 15% to 100% more than people using cash. Why? Because the brake line has been cut. So let's look at the math of your free flight again. The bank gives you 2% back in points, but because of the anesthesia, you statistically spend 20% more than you would have with cash. You are trading 20% of your wealth for a 2% kickback. You think you are gaming the system? No, my friend, you are the mark. The bank is happily giving you pennies because you are giving them dollars. You are suffering from gamification blindness. You are so focused on the high score, the points balance, that you don't notice you are losing the game, your net worth. Now, I know what you're going to say. I can hear you screaming at the screen right now. But Philly, I am disciplined. I pay my balance off in full every month. I never pay interest. I am beating the bank. Stop it. This is the optimizer delusion. This is the tumor talking. Let's cut this open. Even if you pay off your balance in full, which statistically half of you won't do at some point, you are still losing. Why? Because of mental accounting. You have convinced yourself that spending money to hit a sign-up bonus is an investment. I see it in your charts. You bought the new iPad because I needed to hit the $4,000 spend in 3 months. You booked the hotel because it was 5 times points. If you spend $1 to get back 2 cents, you are not an investor. You are a consumer with a calculator. You are justifying unnecessary consumption by wrapping it in the language of finance. And let's talk about the annual fee, the vampire in your wallet. You are paying $695 a year for a platinum card. Why? For the lounge access, you say. For the status, you say. Let's be honest, buddy. You're paying $700 a year to eat lukewarm cheese cubes in a crowded room at the airport. You're buying a Veblen good. You're paying for a heavy metal card that makes a clink sound, so the waiter knows you are successful. This is conspicuous consumption disguised as travel hacking. You are suffering from the sunk cost fallacy. You keep the card and force yourself to spend money on it to justify the annual fee. You are creating problems, spending to solve a problem you created, the fee. Here is the hard truth I need to cut into your brain. Dividends are not free money, and neither are points. They are a refund on your own overspending. You are not a credit card genius. You are an unpaid employee of Visa's marketing department. You are carrying their billboard in your pocket and paying them for the privilege. We need to sever the connection between your self-worth and your credit limit. We need to stop optimizing for miles and start optimizing for freedom. The surgery was successful, buddy. We removed the optimizer ego. We exposed the infection. But now comes the hard part, the rehabilitation. You have spent years training your brain to believe that spending money is a productive activity because it earns points. We need to rewire that neural pathway. Here is your prescription. 1. The friction therapy. Reintroduce the pain. For the next 30 days, I want you to put the platinum card in a drawer. Do not cancel it yet. We don't want to hurt your credit age, but remove it from your digital wallet. Delete it from Apple Pay. Delete it from Amazon. I want you to use a debit card, or even better, physical cash for all daily expenses. Why? Because we need to reintroduce the pain of payment. When you hand over a $20 bill, you feel the loss. Your brain registers it. When you swipe a card to get points, you feel nothing. The goal is not to be inconvenient. The goal is to be conscious. By reintroducing friction, you will naturally spend 15% to 20% less. Saving 20% on your budget is mathematically superior to earning 2% in points. That is the only arbitrage that matters. 2. The vampire audit. Kill the annual fee. Look at that card with the $695 annual fee. Ask yourself the hard question. Did I get $700 of value from this card that I wouldn't have gotten anyway? And no, the TSA pre-check credit doesn't count if you already have it. The Uber credits don't count if you are ordering Uber Eats just to use the credit. That is vampire cost logic. You are prepaying for services you might not need. If the math doesn't work, downgrade the card to a no annual fee version. Stop paying a subscription fee to a bank for the privilege of lending them your transaction data. Stop buying Veblen goods to impress the barista. 3. The good enough travel philosophy. You are obsessed with maximizing the cent per point value. You spend hours searching for that perfect business class redemption. Stop it. Your time is an asset too. The points game is designed to make you trade your life energy for a slightly better seat on the plane. But the money you spend chasing the bonus, extra dinners, annual fees, you could buy the ticket. Wealth isn't about having millions of points. Wealth is about having the money to fly wherever you want, whenever you want, without having to check the reward calendar or be bound by deadlines. That's true freedom. Wealth is not having a million points. Wealth is having the cash to fly wherever you want, whenever you want, without needing to check an award calendar or navigate a blackout date. That is true freedom. Listen to me, buddy. Banks aren't building skyscrapers in Manhattan because they're losing money on reward programs. They're building them because they're winning. They've turned you into a hamster running on a wheel, chasing a carrot on a stick. You run faster, you spend more, you optimize more, but you never really progress. Get off the wheel. Stop playing their game. Real wealth isn't found in a 2% cashback. Real wealth is found in the 20% you save by never buying that thing. My name is Philly. I'm your mind surgeon. The surgery is over, but if you want to watch the virus in the massive spending on the animal industry that I've laid on the other operating table down the left, I'll be waiting for you. Buddy, see you in the next videos. Farewell.